Most people picture Daenerys Targaryen as she appears here, mature, fiercely confident, and ready to rule. That image is tied to the television adaptation, leaving millions of viewers confused when she burned an entire city at the end of the story. But the original novels provide a starting point that alters the logic of her descent. When she first appears on the page, Daenerys is 13 years old. She is isolated, timid, and lacks agency. Her emotional state is shaped by years of psychological abuse from her brother, Viserys. He treats her as property to be traded to a Dothraki warlord for an army. The books prioritize her internal perspective, where a suffocating terror replaces the confidence seen on screen. She is a frightened child searching for safety in a brutal world. Starting her journey as an abused child makes her later embrace of violence a direct response to her trauma, rather than a sudden personality change. The novels establish that her rise to power relies on unsettling magic. When she steps into the funeral pyre to hatch her dragons, the prose describes an event that is disturbing, unnatural, and tied to dark forces. This event links her to cryptic prophecies. In the House of the Undying, she receives visions like the ones shown here: a blue flower growing from a wall of ice, and a cloth dragon swaying above a cheering crowd. Despite these omens, she carries a genuine desire to protect the vulnerable. That morality reaches its peak in Astapor, where she frees the Unsullied army and abolishes the slave trade. Yet the novels show that righteous victories have catastrophic consequences. The moment she frees these cities, social structures collapse, leading to starvation and street warfare. In the television show, she relies on charismatic advisors who balance her out emotionally. On the page, she is isolated. The people surrounding her offer cold political utility or harbor unstable motives, leaving her alone to untangle the chaos she created. She is trapped. When a leader tries to enforce a moral vision using absolute power but lacks reliable guidance, the friction between intentions and reality breeds instability. That friction reaches a breaking point in Meereen. After discovering dead children nailed to mileposts, she orders the crucifixion of 163 slave masters in retaliation. The text dwells on her internal conflict. She realizes that some of the men she executed may have been innocent, forcing her to rationalize the use of extreme brutality. Her control over her physical weapons is also slipping. This visualization highlights the reality of book-accurate dragons. They are wild, unpredictable weapons that have begun hunting and killing children in her own city. Alongside the physical danger is a psychological dread. She is haunted by the legacy of her father, the Mad King, and questions whether she has inherited his mental deterioration. To survive the guilt of her actions, she begins leaning into her violent impulses. She starts viewing the destruction as a mandate to reshape the world through fire and blood. The descent is gradual. The exhaustion of trying to rule fairly wears her down, forcing a well-intentioned survivor to normalize the use of terror to maintain control. The final turning point occurs far from any throne room. After fleeing an assassination attempt, she is stranded in the Dothraki Sea, sick, broken, and wandering alone with her largest dragon, Drogon. Stripped of her crown and advisors, she reflects on her failures. She realizes her compromises achieved nothing. Diplomacy has failed. Mercy has failed. Mapping her internal logic, arguments for peace buckle under the weight of force. She concludes, dragons plant no trees. Diplomacy is erased, leaving only fire. She embraces the singular tool her ancestors used to force the world into obedience. It is a tragedy. A victim who survived abuse to protect the innocent ultimately transforms into the monster she spent her life fighting. Her story is a methodical warning that no human being, regardless of their starting intentions, can wield absolute power without being consumed by it.